On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype, we make it take flight.
Yeah, man, my viewers and subscribers, what go on? A blessed and wonderful Tuesday evening to each and every person out there tuning in to On The Spot News Media. Now, my peeps, I have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please, like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog so you can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything we are going in Jamaica. We want peace and we want it now. Those were the chants of children, the younger ones, our nation's most vulnerable. Their chants, we want peace and we want it now, could have been heard far and wide as they marched for peace in the volatile, crime-riddled, war-torn Arnett Gardens community along Collie Drive in the troubled Kingston Western Police Division. The Peace Day March, which is being held under the theme, Be the Peace, is geared at maintaining peace in the areas where there has been an upsurge of crime and violence affecting our nation's most vulnerable. The schools involved are the Iris Gelly Primary School, the Haile Selassie High School, and the National Baptist Basic School. The three schools involved are from different sections of the general Arnett Gardens jungle community. Now, with the recent upsurge of crime and violence plaguing that general Kingston Western Police Division, I just hope that the older folks, the ones who are heavily involved in the criminal activities, can listen and take heed from their own children, because many of these younger ones may not be their parents, but probably a neighbor or a distant relative may be in criminal activities. Now, I just hope that their cries doesn't fall on deaf ears. Now, at another school over there in Clarendon, the Lennon High School, I posted a video just some moments ago on my Instagram page that is On The Spot News Media 876 on Instagram, where you can see two boys having a fight. One of the boy had a board in his hand, the other ran for a brick and used it to knock the other one cold to the ground. Yeah, man. May I tell you, say, the one that really shake up some people, because I read through a lot of the comments. And I could have easily seen where some persons are angry and enraged, and some persons are pleading for the police to lock them away. But what I saw was not only two boys fighting and others just standing idly by, not doing anything to stop it, until one lay there motionless. All I saw was a reflection of today's society, where our music definitely displays exactly what they're doing. If a boy diss you, you have to clap off him head and all of these things. We ourselves as adults, we portray ourselves just the same way in front of our children. We don't know how to settle the simplest of disputes without bringing violence into play. So what do we expect from these younger ones? There's a lot of truth to what they say, that children live what they learn. They might not learn it from their parents at home, but we all have to admit that the general society has more effect on our kids than we do. And if the general society is as such, then our children will definitely be as such. We have seen even on social media viral video of our country's security forces facing off physical altercation between police and soldiers. So if they are the ones who is supposed to be looked up to, they are the ones who are sent out to be peacemakers, and there is literally no peace between them, then what do we expect our children to do? Again, my peeps, children live what they learn. And believe it or not, the wider society has the greater influence on the younger ones. And still in the parish of Clarendon, another businessman was gunned down by criminal elements on Sunday night. The man presently on your screen has since been identified as 40-year-old O'Neal Rooms. He's also known as D in the streets. He's of a Kennedy Lane address in Palmer's Cross. Now, the police reports surrounding that brutal knockings and clappings of that small business owner suggests that sometime around 8 p.m., O'Neal Rooms was sitting on a wall in front of his shop eating some ice cream. And that is when he was pounced upon by armed criminal elements on foot. It is reported that the criminal elements were heavily armed with handguns. It is said that O'Neal Rooms reportedly ran off to save his life, but he was chased by the gunmen who opened fire, hitting him all over the head and the upper body. O'Neal Rooms lost his life same place on the spot. Now, sources close to On The Spot News Media has disclosed that loss of life took place in the vicinity of a church crusade. So these criminal elements, as we can see right now and furthermore in the past also, that they no longer respect the church. We have seen in recent times, if memory serves me correct, in Trelawney, a woman was in church and the criminal element walk in at the church, go knock it and clap it on her, same place in the house of God. Now, less than 2 weeks ago, my peeps, 6 persons, including that of a police officer, get caught up and seriously injured at an event in Palmer's Cross. The police say that there has been an increase in criminal activities in Palmer's Cross, which prompted the imposition of a 48-hour curfew in the community last month. So according to the police, permits to host events in Palmer's Cross are not being granted up to July 1. The parish of Clarendon has seen a 157.1% increase in murders up to February 28th, having recorded 18 when compared to 7 for the year of 2022 during the corresponding period. So basically, my peeps, Clarendon not safe right now. The thing turn up. Yeah, man. So we're going to look upon some decent spot of work right now put on by the squad of them. Now on your screen is a decent Fatmatic that was seized by the police in the Sunlight Street area. All of this took place also on Sunday. So the joint anti-gang task force continue to impact criminal and gangs following the seizure of this 9mm pistol and 35 rounds of ammunition with it. Now, today over there in Montego Bay, St. James, we are talking about over there in the general Salt Spring community, in the same area where the infamous 6 gang comes from. Now, 2 M16 rifles have been seized so far in an ongoing operation in Salt Spring, St. James. Now, the police and soldiers are still on that scene, still trying to uncover more weapons and to see if they can also arrest some more wanted criminals from that area. Now we definitely have to big up the squad of them and the soldier them on the ground. We continuously put in the work to get these illegal weaponry off the streets. Yeah, man. So watch us now, my peeps. In our courts system, The Chief Justice, Brian Sykes, has handed down an historic guilty verdict this morning in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston, where he found Andre Blackman Bryan, presently on your screen, guilty of being the leader of the notorious Spanish Town Wandan faction of the Klansman gang. We could see Bryan wept bitterly as the Chief Justice found him guilty of being the top man of one of Jamaica's most feared criminal organizations. The long-running trial appeared to be drawing to a close as Justice Sykes fingered Bryan as the gang leader. Chief Justice Brian Sykes told the convicted gangster that the evidence confirmed his role was to plan, give directions, and organize the commission of serious crimes. The Chief Justice also told the distraught Bryan that notwithstanding his good character reference and his denial that he ever gave orders to take the life of anyone, the evidence indicated he was guilty. Bryan shook his legs and held his head low as the country's top judge sealed his faith. Now it was the latest in the string of guilty verdicts handed down against Bryan since the Chief Justice began his summation. Bryan's co-accused, Ted Prince, has also been found guilty of facilitating the commission of serious offense, conspiracy, and the loss of life of persons presently unknown. The incident occurred on January 14th, 2018 in the vicinity of the hardware of the front of Jones Avenue, Spanish Town. Meanwhile, the defendant, Tamrick Taylor, has also been found guilty of being a part of a criminal organization. The presiding judge says he is satisfied that the Crown's key witness, a former gangster, had prior knowledge of Taylor, and the Chief Justice this morning freed Bryan's brother, Kevon Green. Green was found not guilty of being a part of a criminal organization. The Chief Justice says that the Crown was unable to establish the verdict of Green's involvement. He says that the evidence presented was not sufficient enough to prove membership under the law. So we're going to hear from the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of crime, that is Fitz Bailey, as he hailed the conviction of Bryan as a victory for all Jamaica, especially law enforcement and the criminal justice system. We're going to hear from him right now. Listen.
This verdict actually is a victory for Jamaica. It's a victory for law enforcement and the entire criminal justice system and the JCF. It also validates our approach in looking at criminal investigation and do our investigation around a criminal organization. We know that there were a lot of naysayers, there are a lot of skeptics about the approach, but I think this has validated our approach at the law from 2014. And, there were different views, conflicting views, and we decided ultimately to test this about 2017, somewhere about there. And we have had, setbacks, hiccups, but we continue to pursue, and this is the end result. There are a lot of work still to be done. There are areas that we need to look at. We have to review, assess, and then we look at our approach onward. But I think this really inspires some level of confidence in what we do. This is just a tip in the iceberg. There is several other, there's a lot of work to be done. As you are aware, or the public might be aware, once you infiltrate a gang, once you disrupt a gang, you're going to find several splinters, and there are splinters and there are people who are reasserting themselves, and we have an obligation to ensure that we reduce the impact of those individuals, and we will continue to pursue the criminals, whoever they are. Whether you're a gang member or whether you're a criminal, we will continue to pursue. That's our calling. That's what we sign up for.
That was the voice of DCP Fitz Bailey, head of the JCF Crime and Security Portfolio. Now, DCP Bailey, we would definitely like the same approach to be taken on the One Order gang of Spanish Town and dismantle and prison over prison, slap over slap way, and get the country in order. Yeah, man, me I tell you, that are the only order that On The Spot News Media want to see. Not clans, not One Order, but Jamaica in order. Yeah, man. So anyway, my peeps, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in subsequent newscast. On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.